separate itinerary from New York to Tel Aviv. It seems like everyone here is on one itinerary, so that'll guarantee your bags go all the way through. So anticipate if you're on United, for example, and you're making one stop on the way there. I'm going through San Francisco, which doesn't make any sense, but it was a lot cheaper. My bags will see me in Tel Aviv. I don't have to do anything in San Francisco with them. So that's good. Please, please, please make copies of everything. If you have to call customer service, it's great to have your credit card number on your phone on a screenshot. Your passport on, they're going to have it on the website for your airline because you have to pre-scan it. But nonetheless, please make pictures. I bring a full-on binder, and I put everything in there. Please bring your vaccination information, just in case. I've had no one has told me about anything. There was a moment there where I thought we were going to need to get tested when we get to Ben Gurion for COVID, but I don't even think they're doing that now in Israel. Israel's much more neurotic than we are here, so you'll see many more people wearing masks. Not that you're neurotic, but you'll see many more Israelis wearing masks than you will Americans. They're nervous Jewish people, and they, you know. All right. Passports will be required for check-in. Make sure you have it on you. You are responsible for your passport. Note to self: you may want to put it in the safe at the hotel in your hotel room. Make sure you're not like me. Take it out of the safe before we leave. I had to pay $250 for my 4 passports for my little posse to get from the safe in the north on the kibbutz to the hotel in Jerusalem. Took them 4 days, $250. I don't want you to have to deal with that. You can't like FedEx them. You have to have someone hand deliver them. It's a passport. So don't forget. I'll remind you. Believe me, I learned my lesson. You're responsible for all of your own documents, obviously. You will receive what's not a stamp anymore. They used to stamp the passports. They don't do that anymore. They give you a ticket, and it's a 3-month visa. So when I lived in Israel, when Rabbi Mason Barkin lived in Israel, we had to go to the Ministry of Immigration and get an additional 9-month visa when we were 2.5 months into it. You don't have to worry about that unless you decide to stay in Israel. We suggest you pack. I put in my, let me just put it this way. In my backpack, I'll get very specific with you. I have a baggie with everything under 3 ounces, toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, and the medication that I need for 24 to 48 hours. In other words, have an extra day just in case a flight gets canceled. You want to have enough medication. I actually don't pack my medication in my suitcase. I bring it with me. It's with me at all times. You'll see later on, I'm going to recommend that your pills are in bottles that have the prescription on them, just in case. I don't get worried about this kind of stuff, but there are certain times where certain countries especially don't like unmarked pill containers, but it's not like I always have one container, an empty prescription bottle with Advil, Pepcid. If you get car sick, please bring Dramamine. You can bring the non-drowsy Dramamine, but please understand that not everyone can sit in the first row of the bus. There are 82 of you, and there's 1 first row on the bus. Not everyone, there's lots of air conditioning. The windows don't open. It's conditioned air. So if you know you get car sick, please bring some Dramamine. I always recommend having it with you in your backpack. I put in sweats for sleeping. Even if I'm wearing pants like this, I bring sweats, a change of underwear, change of socks. That's also in case you spill something on yourself, right? No one wants to sit for 10 hours on a flight with coffee all over their pants. So sweats, I bring the socks, underwear, T-shirt, or whatever you like to sleep in. I bring a long sleeve T-shirt. The planes get very cold for those of you who've traveled before at nighttime. They put it on like freezing meat temperature, which I like, but not everyone likes. Okay, so that's just general rule of thumb stuff that you can bring. Just make sure it's less than 3 ounces. Tips for pre-trip prep. These are just tips. So when we say we recommend, it doesn't mean it's required. You're adults. You can make your own decisions. I like to make photocopies of the travel documents, the credit cards, and just keep it on my phone as screenshots. You can also, that way you have the numbers of your credit cards. And you can also leave a copy for yourself at home. I don't know why we recommend that, but it sort of seems redundant with cell phones. If you lose the items at some point in the trip, you'll have the information at hand. And usually you can do customer service online now. So all of the hotels have computers, and your phones will work as well. Packing. We're going to get to the list on page 2 in a second. But I always say, again, if I repeat something in here, it's for emphasis. Israel will be likely in the 70s during the day, and at night it will get cooler. When we're up north, we're at a little bit of elevation, not that much. When we're in Jerusalem, we're at about 2,200 feet elevation. So it definitely gets cooler at nighttime. So you'll see it reflected on the other sheet. The easiest thing to do is to just dress in layers. If you get warm, you take off your sweatshirt, or you take off maybe you've got shorts under your pants, and you're all set. But layers is advisable. It's not going to be cold, but that's different for me than it is for you. So some people are always cold. I'm always hot, unless I'm sick. So if you see me shivering, that means I'm not feeling well. I'll suck it up, but all right. So again, just you. There are certain things that you should bring that we'll go over in a second, but you. If you're a layer kind of person, that's always the easiest way to do it. It's not a formal trip other than like Friday night Shabbat, our Sabbath on Friday night that we're all sharing together. That's a little bit nicer, but it's Israel. It's like Scottsdale. It's very casual. You will never see anyone wearing a tie in Israel or a dress code or anything like that. All right, questions on page 1. Yes, I'm going to go around the room. I'm going to repeat your question. That'll be easier. Huh? Yes, correct. A copy of, the question was, someone had just been to Europe, I'm assuming, and they required your actual original COVID document. I don't think Israel requires that. I think you just need to have a photocopy of it with your name on it and when you had your shots. Who? Okay, I'll double check it. 18th would be 2 days ago. Are we getting tested at Ben Gurion? Okay, good. We're not getting tested. Okay, if anything changes on that front, I have an email already out to Israel. I sent them one this morning, which they got back to us this morning because it was nighttime. They're sleeping still, so I hope they're sleeping still. It's 5:30. No, 4:30. I have a pending question just to double check there's no other COVID restrictions, and we'll let you know right away. Other questions? Yes? Mm-hmm. It's a great question. In our experience leading trips, what's the likelihood of your bags getting lost? Like my bags get stuck in San Francisco when they go to Japan. I don't want to, okay, so learning moment, teachable moment. Jews are very superstitious. We're very superstitious, especially the more Eastern European we are and I'm talking like Russia. So I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. I've never had that happen. One time it happened. It was Air France, and her bag was delivered on the evening of the first full day from the airport. That was the only time, and this will be my 8th or 9th group. Having said that, you're going to receive from Richard and from me, this isn't the exact color, it's called a luggage spotter. It's like a loud neon green. I think the ones we're getting are yellow or orange or something. You're going to put your name on it, and you're going to wrap this around your handle, even if you have luggage tags, because that's going to make it easier to identify the luggage getting on and off the buses. What's really fun is at Ben Gurion, since they're brilliant, all of the international flights both depart and arrive at the same time. So think about 5 planes, all of them, 2-aisle planes, so 300 or so people per plane, all arriving within about a 120-minute time frame. When you get to the baggage, You're going to be like, oh my God, we're going to wait forever? No. But the thing is, the baggage thing carousel goes about 5 times as fast. And it piles up. So it'll be, you know how you have one bag and then there's always a guy from the airport who straightens out the bag? That doesn't happen in Israel. Now we have, for those of us who are flying in to Ben Gurion, not for those of us who are going a day earlier, you'll have people to assist you from the gate all the way until baggage, and they'll help you with your bags, but just know it goes really fast. It's kind of funny. And they're all getting like spit out at the same time and piling up, and that's Israel. That's Israel, right? It is terrible, but that's how they do it. So just be prepared that it moves kind of fast. Okay. Questions on page 1? More questions? Yes. Is there a restroom on the bus? No, but remember, maybe you weren't here. It was one of the earlier meetings. The only rule I have is let us know 20 minutes or so before you think you have to go. Because sometimes there isn't a rest stop right off the freeway or wherever we are. Most of the time you can just go into somewhere and, right? But if on those longer bus ride days, just tell us a half an hour to 20 minutes, 30 minutes before, we're going to make regular stops, obviously. Oh, obviously, at least once an hour, if not more frequent. Which leads me to the second rule. Some of the stops, it'll be fine for you to go get a cup of coffee, there's always a pastry, there's always food. And sometimes Sharon or David or myself will say, this is not a food stop, it's only to use the bathrooms, because those stops can turn into 45-minute affairs if we don't all just go pee and come back. Okay, but we will make, on those days, regular stops. Okay? But we are sensitive to everyone's bladder. The good thing about traveling with Jews is we plan out bathroom stops. We're very, very obsessed with these things. Any questions over here or first page? Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Boy, oh boy, that would be interesting. So the question was, are the bathrooms, can they accommodate large crews? We wouldn't stop somewhere on the longer bus rides. We wouldn't stop unless there were multiple stalls. But obviously there are a lot of women, men have a whole different thing that goes on, and you're gonna probably have to wait a second, but it shouldn't be too long. They wouldn't stop somewhere with only 1 or 2 bathroom stalls. No, I know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and not everyone may have to go to the bathroom at the same time, too. But yes, I hear you. And we are always mindful of that, but we're also mindful it's a large group, and we'll do the best we can to stop at places that have enough options so that if someone is getting a cup of coffee, someone else can use the bathroom, and then the bathroom people can go get a cup of coffee, and so on. So it's like traveling here. It's like taking a road trip here. There are certain quick stops that have multiple stalls. They're not called quick stop in Israel. There are certain places that don't. Yeah. By standing guard. And if that's the way that we need to roll, we'll do that. P.S. For women, men, you don't have to worry about this. Always have an extra roll of toilet paper in your backpack, just in case. So like when we go to the Old City, I will WhatsApp everyone that morning, reminding you to bring some toilet paper with you, because a lot of the bathrooms in the Old City don't have enough for all the tourists, and they run out, and you guys do not need to be waiting around to get refilled. So it's best to have, Cantor Edinger's wife, Sarah, would constantly be WhatsApping everyone, don't forget, ladies, don't forget your toilet paper. Is there an online question? Yes. What if you're not vaccinated? I will have to find that out. I don't believe you can get into Israel without a vaccination card. And I think that we, publicized that in the original packet, but I will double check. All right, last couple questions. Page 1. Yeah, we're not there yet, but we will get to bottled water in a minute. Okay, packing list. I don't need to go through everything with you. I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. Again, you know yourself. Some people like lots of, oh, Rabbi Mason Barkin, you had a.
It wasn't exactly what you asked, but just to make sure we know that most of the restrooms will be Western-style toilets, so you don't have to worry about squatting.
So one time, okay, you ready? See, this is why I asked you if you know what you're getting into. So one time I was driving with a friend up to the north, and we got out of the car to go to the bathroom, and it was kind of on the Jordanian border. And literally before we could even start going to the bathroom, this military jeep comes up with all these Israeli soldiers who are basically in Hebrew yelling at us, "What the hell do you think you're doing? This is the border with Jordan." And we thought we're going to prison. It's going to be like Midnight Express, like, right? Anyway, they didn't arrest us. A couple things just to point out. I don't really care what you pack. You are responsible for schlepping your suitcase. So it's up to you. The good news is we have porterage. Porterage means our bags are on the bus. The bus driver will unload the bags. The hotel staff will take our bags, put our room number on it, deliver it to your outside of your room, sometimes even inside to your room. While we're checking in, they'll have a whole table set up with all of the key cards and the room numbers and everything. It's really nice. You're going to feel like, oh, this is kind of fancy. That's great. In the morning, on Thursday morning, when we're going to go to Jerusalem, Sharon and David will tell you, have your bag outside of your door, your suitcase, by 6:45 a.m. Breakfast is at 7:30 or whatever the times are. They'll pick the bags up. They will magically appear as we go onto the bus. What's cool is every bag has to be identified. You have to. It's a security issue in Israel. You have to identify your bag before the bus driver can put it on the bus or it can be delivered to your room. It's not a long process if everyone's got one of these, right? They're all going to have one of these, and I can identify your bag, because then they can put the sticker on, room 202, and so on and so forth. Okay. This is more for getting off the plane than anything. And again, use your normal luggage tags too if you want. Yeah. So Richard's receiving them next week. He's going to give them to PRBC members at services next Sunday. And I'm picking them up from you at Chase, down the street. Okay, Richard's wife works at. Then I will give you the leftovers that I have from June. They may be a different color, but no biggie. We'll still be able, they're neon, so that helps. Okay, good. Yes, sir. Yes. We'll get to the gratuities toward the end. We talked about it at one of the first meetings, but there is no tipping. That's already included. And tipping in Israel is 10%. 15% if you're really wanting to be nice. It's not 18 or 20 or whatever it is now here. It's 10%. Your cab ride, your whatever it is, 10%. Okay? You can always give a little extra. And that's what the shekel page is all about. Three things I want to point out. Women will need, at one point or another, a longer skirt that covers. Let me tell you about the Modesty Laws. When we go to the Temple Mount, which is run by the Palestinian Authority, but we do check in with Israeli security in order to go up there to be respectful to the Muslim community. Our skirts need to be past our knees, and our shirts need to be past our elbows. For that only. A lot of people will wear a skirt over their pants or their sweats. Fine. You need to wear a skirt that goes down. Yeah. For that, there are 2 times, and when we go to the hotel. Steve Kahn's rules are you can wear pants. I have no problem with it. They're used to it. But at the Temple Mount, I would recommend bringing a long skirt. So thank you, Rabbi. The problem is, depending on who's there, they're going to hand you a really disgusting shmata. Shmata is Yiddish for rag. That's like black and ugly that you're going to have to put around your waist. So better go to TJ Maxx, Get the cheapest black skirt possible. That goes past your knees? No, get a white one. It doesn't matter. It just has to be a skirt. Yeah, because I don't want you, like Rabbi Mason Barkin said, go ahead. You are going to explain this much better than I am because you have to deal with this. Men, you don't have to worry about any of this.
You want to find like something cheap and lightweight with an elastic waistband that you can just keep in your backpack and throw on when you need to over whatever you're wearing. It doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be fancy, but you don't want also to be something like you have to button, or they have to style. Like just throw it on.
And remember, we're going to the Temple Mount for all of an hour, right? And then you'll have your sweats on or your pants on underneath it. Men, we need our long pants for the Temple Mount. It's preferred to wear longer pants at the Western Wall, but you don't have to. Levi's are 100%. Jeans are great. It's good to be a man in the Middle East. It's not so good to be a woman in the Middle East, as it turns out. All right. Although we won't have like hostilities or anything. Otherwise, we would take you to the ultra-Orthodox neighborhood, and that would be a whole fun thing. But we're not doing it. So that's number one. Number two is just do yourself a favor and bring a backpack, a small backpack with you, or any size backpack. If you are going to Masada, which we'll talk about later, if you're going on Saturday to Masada on the optional trip, you're going to need a bathing suit. I would recommend a bathing suit that you don't mind tossing because the sulfuric fumes, if you will, from the Dead Sea really, they're hard to get out. So a cheaper bathing suit is advisable if you're doing that. Otherwise, unless you're going to use the pool at the hotel, and I don't even know if they're open in November, you can check on their websites. You don't need a bathing suit. Toiletries, 2 items that I want you to just be mindful of. Saline solution is probably 40 to 60% more expensive in Israel, so bring enough saline solution. And batteries, same thing. They're just a lot more expensive there. And sunscreen is more expensive. And we'll have extra, but, just for yourselves, make sure that you're covered there. Okay. It says on the bottom, 1 large water bottle. Now, that can be something like this. So I bring one of these because I put ice in it in the morning. And then on the bus, both buses will have a little refrigerator when we get on the bus that'll have bottles of water. And take as much water as you want. You can use the water. It won't be ice cold, but it'll be room temperature or cooler. That's why I put the ice in here. I fill it up with the bottled water on the bus, and that's my water bottle. So I put this in my backpack or in the pocket, done. So you can use the plastic water bottle from the bus and take it with you. You can get one when you get off the bus and when you get on the bus. We're all about the water. Staying hydrated, good, right? We're from Arizona, we know this. So there'll be plenty of water. And again, you can do this and you're all set. Then you don't have to constantly be grabbing the bottles. I forgot my notes. Electrical appliances. Did everyone buy adapters? Has anyone not bought an adapter? Okay. You want to go on Amazon, and you will type in worldwide all-in-one universal travel adapter with USB if you want, and they'll send it to you, overnight or Prime or whatever you've got. It'll have 2 prongs or 3 prongs, but they're circular. And it'll say Israel and Palestine. It should say that on the box. If it doesn't say Israel or Palestine, you don't want a European adapter. That's different. This is specific for the Middle East. So it'll say, like mine on the box that it comes in has a little Israeli flag and a little Palestinian flag. That's the one that you want. I will have a few extra, and the Makor people will have, we plan ahead. Oh, I bought the wrong one. No biggie. We'll take care of it. And then when we get to Jerusalem, where there's more places to go, you can go buy an adapter there or up north. You will also, where else was I here? Yeah. Okay, questions on this page, yes. It says it on here on page 2 of 3 on the bottom. Worldwide all-in-one universal travel adapter. That's the one that's going to have every configuration with it. Or you can buy the one and hang out after, and I will double check on Amazon what the actual name is and send you the link, okay? Which I'm happy to do for you as well. Yes? I've never been asked that question before about CPAPs. Should I bring my CPAP machine? I think all you need to do is check the manual to make sure that it'll work. I know that there are, not voltage, and I'm going to butcher this, so I would check with the manufacturer, either on the website or in the manual, it'll be in there. I believe that certain brands, I would imagine, are adaptable for, their currents are different. It's not just that it's a 220 versus a 110. The electrical current coming out of the outlet is different. So what I don't want you to do is, you've got your adapter, you plug it in, and the adapters now have surge protectors in them, and so now it's broken. And we've had kids on the big trip, our Israel trip in the summer, bring their PlayStations, which break. So please check the manual or the website to just double check that it can handle the current once it's adapted into 220. Robin? Don't check it? Oh. So the point was, if you have a CPAP machine, Robin said, the advice, the recommendation is to not pack it in your luggage, but bring it with you in your backpack onto the plane, because sometimes they're valuable, they're very valuable, and they can get stolen from your, you know, there are bad people everywhere working at baggage claim, I guess, and thank you for that. That's good. Marty? Yep. Yeah.
CPAP or rollers, computer, or computer, what have you, you could buy yourself.
Right. Don't bring a hair dryer. Don't bring a curling iron. Those things, those are, because those are cheaply made, even though you may pay a lot of money for them, they're cheaply made somewhere in China probably, right? Or somewhere in Southeast Asia or whatever. No dig on people from Southeast Asia or China. This is about currents working, and I don't want your nice curling iron to blow up and then you have to leave it in Israel. The hotels will have hair dryers, ladies, in the bathrooms. Yes. Yep, they will. Electric toothbrush, mine worked fine. Now, mine takes a charge for 2 weeks, so, you know, depending on your brand. But mine did fine. I plugged it in with the adapter, and there wasn't a problem with it. The other thing is that you don't want to, like, bring your laptop and plug that in. That may be too much. Or you want to make sure you just use one adapter per item. So don't, my adapters have 2 USB ports and the plug. I don't want to plug that and use the USBs, because something will get screwy. So I have 5 adapters. I only use 2. I have the other 3 to lend out to whoever is just like, oh my God. But I would personally not plug my laptop into an adapter with other stuff coming out of it. Just 1 per item. So if you have to buy 2, you buy 2. I think it's safe enough to use 1 for your cell phone and 1 for your iPad. I bring an iPad. I don't have a laptop that I bring. And the hotels will have a business lounge, a computer area, or something like that, most likely. Okay, last couple questions, and then we'll move on. Yeah, please. That's a great question. Can you do me a favor? And the question was about other large electrical items. If you email Richard or me, we will find out. Thank you. So I have like a whole laundry list of things that I'm asking Israel right now, and I will add that to the list. I've already told them that we've got the scooter, right, that needs to be stowed and all that. That they know already. I'll find out about how to charge. Okay? I know the kibbutz that we stayed on last time, they have like golf carts all over the place, so I would imagine they're able to, you know, charge them. It's not like you're bringing your Tesla and you need like that special. Tesla's a big deal in Israel, but they're like twice as expensive as they are here. Yeah, not twice, but they're definitely marked up. Everything's getting shipped there, so, right? All right, any other questions? Yes, about the packing list or anything like that? What? Hats are good because it's sunny out. I think it helps to prevent dehydration, and it's also a way of keeping the sun from... You can bring an umbrella if you want. You're probably not going to need it, hopefully. But, yeah, I wear a hat. I have it with me. Okay, yes. A straw hat or a felt hat? Neither. I'm wearing a baseball hat. But thank you. I could kick it old school. I'm going to go to Target tomorrow and get a straw hat. I'll be like an Arizona pool guy with that big straw hat. Yeah. Let's all bring sombreros. I think that will positive. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Dress normal. Like, don't wear shirts with crazy stuff on them. Like, we tell this to the kids. Don't bring anything with profanity. I'm not worried about you. But sometimes kids bring things that have, like, bad words on them. Dress normal. Dress like you're going out and having a fun day. Yeah. Now, on Friday night, we have a great, Rabbi Mason Barkin and I are going to lead a nice little service. We'll have prayer cards with English and Hebrew. It'll be very 30-minute short. I will wear something that looks like this on Friday night to dinner, to the Sabbath, just like you would dress for church, but not as fancy, because I know that you have some Sundays where everyone is totally decked out, and then there's Sundays where pastor's wearing his polo. Right. So somewhere in between the polo, no, I will bring a polo shirt or this kind of shirt and some khakis or jeans, and that's my Friday night dinner. If you want to go shul, what I call shul hopping, you want to see the grandest Orthodox synagogue in Jerusalem. It's called the Great Temple, or the Great Synagogue, I'm sorry. I'm happy to walk you over there. On Friday night after dinner, I will walk whoever wants to go to the Western Wall again to go and see what that looks like on a Friday night. So the Sabbath, what's great is we get 2 straight days of Sabbath. Mall. It's called the Mammalia Mall, which is where we're staying. It's an outdoor mall. It's a mall. There's a North Face there, and then there are all these other stores, and great gelato. Oh, Israel's dairy products, there is no such thing as non-fat in Israel. It's like 10%. No, it's not that bad. It's like 4 or 5%. You can, of course, with your latte, get your almond milk and your soy milk and all that stuff, but the gelato and ice cream is yummy. Okay, good. I'm glad we got that cleared up. And the mall. We'll have plenty of time for shopping, and we're going to go to some fun places. Yes. You're so excited. I'm excited for you. By the way, a lot of people will say, you know, Rabbi Mason Barkin, Rabbi Kahn, Pastor Mackey, when are we going to go shopping? There will be shopping opportunities everywhere, but if there are specific items that you want, like I brought, in July, I brought some rosary beads for our 3 of our guys who work on our custodial staff. They're all Catholic, and it really meant a lot to them, which was wonderful, but I went and bought 3 sets of rosary beads for them, for their wives, and but I gave it to them. You may want to buy a piece of art somewhere from an Israeli artist. We'll have opportunities for that. Sometimes we'll just say, tonight's a free night in Jerusalem. Now's the time. If you need a specific kind of shop or you're looking for something specific, let us know, and we will direct you to or guide you to where to go. There are high-end artist shops for high-end stuff, like $10,000 menorahs and stuff like that. And then there are what I call the regular Yiddish. You're going to learn a lot of Yiddish on this trip, tchotchkes. So that's a menorah, and you tip it over and it says made in China. And it breaks on the way home in your bag, and that's that. So we'll show you, but seriously, if you know that there's a specific item that you want or artist that you want to see, let us know, and we'll do our best to help you do that. Yes? So with the shopping, the easiest thing to do is use your credit card. And as I said multiple times, but I'll repeat it again because I know this is all very nerve-wracking and stressful. ATM machines, normal PIN. It's going to come out in shekels, but we're going to go over shekels in a second. You saw that on the attachments, I think. and I updated it to yesterday's exchange rate. The dollar is much stronger now than it was in June in Israel, which means that the Israelis just raised their prices. So it's not like a bottle of Coca-Cola or Diet Coke will cost you there what it costs you here. They get the game, right? Now, when I was in rabbinic school, we're not doing that on. So the hotel can exchange. I like to have I told you at the last meeting, I like to have a little cash. So I'll go to the ATM and take out the equivalent of $100 of shekels, just to have it, because I don't want to use my credit card for a soda, you know? And we'll go through that in a minute. The easiest thing to do for shopping is use your credit card. Just make sure your bank credit card company has a fair exchange rate, that they're not like charging you $5 every time, which I don't think they do that anymore. Yeah, Sally. Correct. If we go to like somewhere like the Great Synagogue on Saturday morning, women will have to wear their long skirts and their shirts. I don't know, Rabbi Mason Barker and I haven't really decided yet if we're going to be doing that option on Saturday morning, but we'll let you know. We'll probably go to Reform Progressive congregations. Safety and security. Oh, yes. That's why Rabbi Mason Barker. See? Because Pastor Mackey does not know clothes. He's the best dressed minister in the world. Now, we all know Lynn has a lot. I kind of want to go shopping with Lynn, because I just want to go tie shopping with her, because Pastor Mackey's got great ties. I'm jealous. I have a little envy of his ties. I have tie envy. All right. Shout out Pastor Mackey. I love how you dress. Although he wears the same kind of socks that I do, so that's good. With the stripes and polka dots. Very safe in Israel. You should feel safer in Israel than you do in Phoenix. It is, because there are these beautiful, gorgeous 19, 20-year-old men and women with M16s all over the place. They're in the Army, and when you're in the Army, you're issued an M16. So we've got security, we've got Army, it's a whole different experience. You're going to be like, what's that little kid carrying a gun 3 times her size? But she knows how to fire it. Israel's very safe. I know that sometimes you see stuff on the news that looks scary, and I'm not guaranteeing that, no one's going to get pickpocketed or any of that stuff. It's not like Madrid. It's not like New York City. When I lived in New York, I always put my wallet in my front pocket. Always. Or I took my cash out, and anytime I parked my car, it got broken into. Israel's not like that at all. It's a very, very safe place, and they are hypersensitive to protecting Jews and Christians from outside of Israel, because they don't want their tourism industry to be affected by craziness. And so they're super protective of us, keeping an eye on us. And, our American consulate gets a daily report on Americans who came through the airport. They know that we're there. It's all good, okay? So I don't worry. I always feel safer. I wouldn't walk you around the old city at nighttime if I didn't. All right. I think you should feel very safe there. So yes, if you see an 18-year-old gorgeous male who's got like a great, just like he's really in shape, or female with an M16, don't freak out. That's what they do. This is very important. When you are arriving in your connection, so for me, it was San Francisco. For you, it may be Newark or JFK. They have a separate deal for your international flight to Tel Aviv, where your bags are already checked in, but you will get interviewed by security personnel. They're going to check your bag. They're going to check your backpack. And they may not, but this could be on Delta. It could be on United. You will hear someone with an Israeli accent asking you, who packed your bag? Are you bringing anything with you? I'm sure it's like this in other countries too, right? Who packed your bag? Did anyone give you anything to deliver to someone in Israel? The answer is, I packed my bag, I've been with it the whole time, and no, I did not bring any, as it says here, packages or parcels from strangers or anyone else to bring with me. The easiest way to get through that is with one-word answers. Sharon and David, it's much more intense in Tel Aviv when we come back. That's like a whole another thing that Sharon and David will walk you through. But if my 9-year-old could handle it, you can handle it. They kept asking her, who is this guy that you're with? This is my daughter, Gabrielle, who went to Israel with me, I don't know, 100 years ago. Who is he? It's my dad. What's his name? What's his middle name? Like, I think they thought I was kidnapping her or something. Yeah, it was like, and that was U.S. customs. It wasn't on the way to Israel. Yeah. Believe me, the Israelis are going to be very happy to see us. I know that for a fact. Okay, because we're such a fun, loving group. Cell phones, we've gone through this 1,000 times. Any last-minute questions about cell phones? Yes, Larry. Yeah. If you've taken the option, which should be about, on our Israel trip in the summer with the kids, this affects maybe 10%, 1 out of 10. Most of us will be paying $10 to $15 a day for our coverage to just, you'll literally turn your phone on, you'll have your normal number, normal text messages, normal everything, and you're paying 10 to 15 hours a day to make your life easy. That's my recommendation. Like, how do I say this without sounding sarcastic? You're already spending $4,000 plus on this trip. What's an extra $10 a day, right? It's like, get the good cocktail, right? Get the good daiquiri. Don't get get the top shelf. So in all seriousness, the SIM card is cheaper. You may pay $30 for the week, but it's a whole thing. You have to order it online, or we have to go find somewhere in Israel for you to get it. And if you're going early, you're welcome to get it. You'll have a different number, and you would then give it to me for the WhatsApp. Yes, they have SIM cards at the airport. So once you get that situated, let me know. You'll have to download and set yourself up on WhatsApp with your new number, and then I'll put you on the chat. Not a problem. I think almost everyone's on WhatsApp now, because I keep seeing every day, like, right? Oh, cell phones. Yes. I think if you're on WhatsApp, are you doing that? Are you paying the $10 a day for your cell? Yes, you can use WhatsApp with Wi-Fi. So what I wrote here was Wi-Fi will be available periodically. The buses have Wi-Fi. It's not very dependable. Yes, then WhatsApp will get you when you're on Wi-Fi, or it'll convert to cell service. And the WhatsApp, once we're in Israel, the WhatsApp is really only used for Rabbi Mason Barkin or Robin or I to sort of send a text saying, anyone who wants to go to dinner with us will meet in the lobby at 6. We're going to say that on the bus, too. Or we're out in Ben Yehuda Street in Jerusalem getting dinner. Oh, we'll meet at 8:30 to go back to the hotel. That's really when we're using it. When I land in Israel, I will WhatsApp everyone just to say, I've landed. I will WhatsApp everyone to say, if you are staying at the Dan Panorama, I'm coming in on Monday, because I know a lot of you are going to be at the Dan Panorama in Tel Aviv on Monday. I will be there with you to get everyone situated on Tuesday to get on the bus and make sure that we all get together for breakfast or whatever, okay? If you're landing in Israel at 5 a.m. on Tuesday, you're welcome to come to the Dan Panorama and hang out, and then we'll all take the bus back to the airport. I would recommend if you're arriving at 9:30, 10, 10:30, stay at the airport and just wait a few hours. Okay, I don't know if they have access to their business lounges, and if you have access. I know there are areas, there's great shopping and definitely food. But I will be with Rabbi Mason Barkin, Robin, and I will all be at the Dan Panorama on Monday night. Rabbi Mason Barkin doesn't get in until like 2 a.m., but I will probably get there around 8 p.m. on Monday night, and then I will WhatsApp everyone saying, tomorrow, enjoy your breakfast. We'll meet at 12:30 in the lobby, And that will be with your bags, so we can get on the bus to go pick everyone else up at the airport. The trip officially begins at around 2 p.m., this we've said since February, at around 2 p.m. on Tuesday, November 8th. So if you're going early, I'm gonna tell you, we're meeting at the Stymansky's bookstore. There are like 18 of them, but there's one when you get past customs. We'll meet there at 2 o'clock, let's say, or 1:30. You'll be there, get yourselves there. Take a cab, do whatever you need to do. I'm assuming it's gonna be around 2. Oh, fun. Okay, you should be fine. I would bring your bags with you, just in case. Traffic in Tel Aviv can be really terrible. At that time of day, it shouldn't be. Ask your Israeli friends what they think. They're gonna, of course, tell you, don't worry about it. I would leave, if you left that should be enough time. Take your bags with you. I think it's better to get to the airport a little early than like right at 2, but I will give you the exact time well before we get there. Yeah, I think that would be safer. And the exact place we're supposed to meet. So I'll say Terminal 1, Stymansky's bookstore, boom. There's only one in Terminal 1. So you literally you walk out of customs and it's like right there. Yeah, it's so you don't have to go search it. Plus we'll have WhatsApp. And if I don't see that we have 82 people, we're not leaving. Or however, I know a lot of you are arriving later, and I think, Richard, you set up some additional transportation, right? So Richard's got the information on transportation from Ben Gurion Airport for those of you who are arriving later than 2 o'clock. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so the time zone difference at that point in November will go into daylight savings, will be 9 hours. Right now it's 10 hours. After, what is it, November 2nd or 3rd? Is that when we do the clocks? Not till I thought it was on the first Sunday in the 6th. Sunday the 6th, that's when the rest of the world sets their clocks, not us, because we're special. Then it'll be 9 hours. So right now it's 10. Yep. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Mm-hmm. Before that, you're going to hear where to meet. What time do you land? So what I recommend, and I'll write this in the last, you'll get one more letter from me, which is okay, now it's real and we're going and whatever. In that last email, it may be that what I would request everyone does is get to the airport, they have free Wi-Fi. So if you don't have a cell plan, you don't want to deal with the cell phone, that's fine. Go on the free Wi-Fi at Ben Gurion, that way your WhatsApp will be activated. You'll see how easy WhatsApp is. And you'll probably, when you land, have a message telling you where exactly, just to remind you where we're meeting, and it'll be from David or Sharon. Okay? Oh, I know, I want to get to your question, then I have something that just reminded me about David and Sharon. Go ahead. Oh, you're going to hang out? Oh, that's a long day. You're a good man. When we get to Israel, once we're situated on our buses and all that, David and Sharon take my place. In other words, I'll answer any question. Rabbi Mason Barkin, Robin, everyone will do the best we can to answer. But any issues you're having, any specific questions about timeline, we will get a schedule. The group leaders will get a schedule that breaks it down by when our reservations at certain places that we visit are, and so on and so forth. But David and Sharon become your go-to for the hotel room is kind of not the one that I need, or where am I going to plug in my device, or whatever. They speak Hebrew fluently. My Hebrew, not so much. It's okay, but I like for someone to yell at the other Israelis in Hebrew. It sounds so much better. So they will be the ones. I mean, you're welcome to come and say, Rabbi Khan, where is X, Y, and Z? And I'm most likely to say, Sharon, David, go for it, because that's their job. Our job is to facilitate, to be happy, to have a great time with you. Their job is to, and I did this in June, admittedly. I said, this room is not acceptable. There were 4 of us, and it was a very small room, and David was with us at that time, took care of it immediately, right? So that's good, because it's in the hotel's best interest for the tour guide to be happy, because that's their repeat business, not us. Play the game. It's all a game. All right. Telephones, yes. The question is, should I be contacting my provider to pay the extra money? And the answer is yes. Call them on the 1-800 number, online, whatever, chat, and deal directly with them. So Robin will call, all of our cell phones are through the temple, and she'll call Verizon and say, we're going to be in Israel from this day until this day, and that way they automatically, now they don't charge you the $10 on Verizon unless you use it. So if I have it on Wi-Fi, and I don't turn the cell part on, and I'll show you in the settings when we get to Israel what to do for your cell to work, great, you don't have to pay anything. AT&T's the same way. Good, thank you. AT&T's the same way. All right. T-Mobile would call them. What'd they say? So it's 25 cents on T-Mobile? Not per minute, just in general. Yeah. Is that per minute? Per call. That's not bad at all. 25 cents per call on T-Mobile. Maybe we should all get T-Mobile. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. It's not no, there's no problem. It's just, do I have to pay the fee or not? If I deactivate my cell service, then I'm not paying anything, because I'm going to use the Wi-Fi. Like you were saying, Gail, about Wi-Fi. Okay? All right. Last thing is the shekel. We have about 10 minutes left. The last page is the shekels. So there are these bills. These are the dispensed out of the ATM bills. The only thing I want you to know is that the exchange rate changes every day, and it got cut off, which I'm really happy about, on the top. So where it says 20 shekels, 5.96 with an X through it, that 20 shekels is now worth $5.20. This was June. This is now. The 100 shekels, it says 20-something 82. It's now 100 shekels would be probably like 27-something dollars. So it just takes a while. They're going to say this is the shekels. They're going to give you the change just like they would here. I don't expect you to walk around with your calculator converting shekels into dollars. There are also coins that they use. There's a 1 shekel coin, a 2 shekel coin, a 5 shekel coin, and a 10 shekel coin. So they've got lots of money. It's much more colorful than American money. They've got pictures of all kinds of great Israeli leaders. And 50 shekels is now today worth $14.19, whereas in June it was almost $15. And 200 shekels is $56.78 as of yesterday. So the way I do it is, what is 100 shekels, right? And then I divide everything by 10. 100 shekels is about 27-something. So then I just do the math in my head. You can walk around with your little calculator too if you want. And then when you get to the hotel and you want to exchange money, they're happy to do it. You'll pay a little bit more commission at the hotel than you would at the ATM machine. Yeah. Don't get shekels at your bank here. You will get totally ripped off on the exchange rate. Do not get shekels at your bank in America. They will fee you. They'll take, whereas in Israel, you'll pay maybe 95 cents for an ATM charge. They're going to charge you $5 for it. I mean, it's just not worth it, and you don't need it. Convert it at the airport if you want to get, I usually bring some cash. If I don't go to the ATM machine, I take $100 up to the guy, and it's not the greatest exchange rate, but it works. Yeah. I know these are all things that because I can tell, because I've said them before, that sometimes our stress and our anxiety, we need reminding. That's what we're there for. We're just there to make your life easier. That's why I'm coming in a day early, just to make your life easier if you're getting in there early, because I don't want anyone feeling like I don't know where to go. Think of Israel as America with different food and Hebrew. But it's a pretty Americanized place. And most Israelis will admit to that. It's a pretty Americanized place. But, you know, you will get very comfortable and confident within 24 hours. Yeah. Last few questions. The hotels, and it's on the website, on the Makor website. You will all get a final itinerary. I just actually emailed them today for that too. We are staying in, I said it last time, but I'll say it because I don't think in the north, instead, we are not staying at Nof Ginosar. We're staying at the Kinar, Kinar Hotel, Sea of Galilee. So it's right on the Kinneret, right on the sea, not right on it, but we'll be able to see the Sea of Galilee. And it'll be cute because I think it's going to be sort of a full moon. So that's going to be kind of a cool first view of the Sea of Galilee with the full moon. Don't forget the first full night we're there, we're going on a boat ride on the Sea of Galilee. So there's that to look forward to under the moonlight. I don't know if you guys remember in February, I looked it up while we were in the meeting, or like right before, and saw, oh, it's a full moon. How cool. Look at us. Yes, ma'am. Trip interruption and cancellation insurance is your call. I highly recommend it. But if you haven't done it, you haven't done it. Yes. Yes. Well, what do you mean you're having trouble getting on WhatsApp? Oh, I'll find you. I'll find you. Anyone who doesn't have the WhatsApp thing set up, we will send you the link. Just, you guys already got it sent a couple weeks ago. Okay. We will officially do laundry. Thank you for asking about laundry. We'll officially do laundry once. You can do it whenever you want, but I don't want you to pay the hotel rate. So on probably on Sunday, David and Sharon will set up a service to pick it up at the hotel. No, not the Woolite. Woolite. When I was a kid, on my first trip to Israel, my mom put Woolite in my. I didn't know what to do with it. So have enough clothes. Know that either Friday late afternoon or mid-afternoon or Sunday, the laundry service will come pick it up. You'll put it into a bag. Bring like a laundry size bag if you can. I may have used the pillowcase from the hotel room. And drop it off. They'll put your name and label it. And then they drop it back off. It's a fluff and fold. Like for those of you who lived in New York or Chicago, you go to a fluff and fold. That's what it is. It's fluff and fold. But it does smell very nice. Yes. And who doesn't like clean clothes? Right? Or maybe we should just go buy new clothes. There you have it. You're getting it on Sunday? Uh-huh. Yeah, I would ask them, double check. You know, Israel's interesting. It's much more, when it comes to things like ACA, it's so much more progressive than the United States. Oh, yeah. Israel's society is based on taking care of the elderly and the kids, and everyone in between, not so much. You know? It's just a different culture that way. They really care about the elderly. They really care about accessibility. They really care about all of that stuff that in America, it can get frustrating, I would imagine. And they worship the elderly and the kids, which makes a lot of spoiled brat kids and a lot of spoiled elderly, which should be. Get to that age, you should be hooked up. But then you go to the army at 18 and it's all over. Helene. Yes. You're going to be with me, so you don't have to worry about it. Wait, where are you where are you staying? So I'm going to ask you, I'll send it to you separate. If you're staying at a different hotel in Tel Aviv or you're coming from somewhere else, I'll tell you you'll have two options. One is to get yourself to the airport. For you, you'll come to the Dan Panorama, take a cab. It'll be $5, and then meet us there, and we'll take you out. Okay? That's one less thing to worry about that way. Oh, that is called the Mamillia, M-A-M-I-L-L-I-A. It is a fancy pants hotel on the mall, on top of the mall. Look at the mall people. I love it. You can get some good shopping. So the Mamillia is fancy pants, and it's really a great location. Okay, the last thing, and then you could, because I like Pastor Mackey, I like to finish on time. We're going to, did you want to share it, or you want me to share it about the, I'm on a roll? All right, so Elder Yarborough and I finished finally. You know, Israelis are a little bit behind. Think about it this way. You know how everything shuts down right before Christmas and doesn't really get back up until after New Year's? That's what Israel's had the last 3 weeks. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, all of our holidays, Festival of Booths. Israel's been basically shut down for 3 weeks, as have we. So they're finally getting back. We went through the whole budget with them, with Makor. We went through everything. Did the ×2 for the bus and the hotels and whatever. We have some other things included that were not on the original itinerary, which is why I'm looking forward to getting it for you. So everyone is going to get a $200 rebate or refund. Now you may say, I'll just use it for Masada or whatever. That can be done too, but what we communicated to Makor was that everyone should just, to their payment, let's say you used a credit card or wire transfer, that you should get that money back. Sometimes it's good to have that as a credit also, just if you wanted to go to Masada or whatever, but I would recommend take your $200. To repeat the tips, which I will also repeat in Israel, we're doing $8 per day for the tour guides. This is our recommendation. You can do more. We ask that you at least do this. $8 per day per person for David and Sharon, and $4 per day per person for the bus drivers. So that, I think we figured, was a total of $160 or $180, which I will collect and we will present to them all together on the last night. I'll write them a little love note, bring dollars for that if you can. That way you know, I need $180, I'm done, it's in my wallet, goodbye. You know, I'm done with my tips. But you will get the $200. So it's actually, you're getting basically your tip money back or whatever you need. But I will bring a little extra for them. I'm not going to monitor you, meaning I'm not going to come by and say, okay, no, I'm going to ask you to put it in one of those nice envelopes that they have in the hotel room and give it to me. And you're going to trust me that I'm going to count it up properly. And then Robin's going to fix all of my math mistakes, or Elder Yarborough. And then we'll give it to them at the last night at our final dinner. Yes? We arrange going to Masada. How do we arrange going to Masada? So we have it as a non-scheduled activity, meaning you pay out of pocket for it. They haven't given us the price for it. And we will ask you before. They're going to ask us next week, probably. So what the Israelis like to do is, like, instead of 10 days before, like the day before, say, here are 27 questions that we need answers to. One of those is going to be how many people are going on Masada. So we'll get that from you ahead of time, and they will make all the arrangements. Masada is a fortress that was built by King Herod at the Dead Sea, at the basin of the Dead Sea. And it's the famous story is that in or around the year 70 of the Common Era, or AD, the Romans captured Jerusalem, were about to capture Jerusalem, and these Jews that we call the Zealots ran up to this fortress in the middle of nowhere. The Romans couldn't penetrate it because you'll see, you take a cable car up, it's really high up. You can walk it too. And up there are cisterns, and you can see how they grew food, and you can see how they lived. And at the last minute, at the end of the story, spoiler alert, the Romans finally had figured out a way to get up there. And the Jews said, we're not going to die at the hand of the Romans, and they flung themselves over the walls and died as martyrs. It's a bad story, but it's also a heroic story, but it's very confusing. So the Israeli army used to do their initiation up there, not all the units, and the famous line was they would say, Masada will never fall again. Now, not so much because it's got a mixed message in it. Is it a place of mourning? Is it a place of celebration? Is it a place of heroism? And that's the conversation that you'll have with David and Sharon or whoever. No, David and Sharon won't go with you because they keep the Sabbath, so they won't be on the bus with you. And that's the other thing. David and Sharon are observant, so they won't be driving around on Saturday. And you'll notice in Jerusalem, there's nothing better than Jerusalem on Shabbat, on Saturday. But we get 2 Sabbaths. We get Saturday and Sunday. Who'd have thunk? If we had a couple Muslim people, we could do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then we'd have no trip. It'd just be vacation. So we will be worshiping on some level, I think, on Sunday in Bethlehem, which I think will be really cool. Okay, now we're going to end. Larry, last question. That's up to you. So the question is, what about housekeeping? Do I need to tip housekeepers? I always leave 20 shekels or whatever I have. I have 30 shekels still in my office from June. If anyone wants to see a shekel bill, I'm happy to show it to you. I always leave 20 shekels and a todah rabbah, which means thank you. It's not expected. That's above and beyond, right? Whereas here, it's not even expected, but we do it sometimes to be nice at a hotel. It's definitely extra credit points for the nice Israeli staff members. You'll notice a lot of the people who are servicing now at the hotels, a lot of Russian speakers, and a lot of Palestinians. Palestinians come up from the West Bank every day, work their day jobs, night jobs in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, all over the place. And so you will hear more Arabic from hotel staff, the wait staff, the people who are serving us, so that's kind of cool. You get a whole different viewpoint. Plus, we are spending time with Palestinians and Muslims when we go down to Bethlehem. Oh, everyone speaks English. Yeah, it may be broken, but it's like with Hebrew with me. I understand it. It just takes me a few days to be able to get a full sentence out. But I can understand it, and then what happens is like the bus driver will be talking to Sharon or David in Hebrew, and I'll jump in out of nowhere, but it's not until the 3rd day. It used to be a lot earlier, but I'm getting older. But maybe because I was just there in June. So my Hebrew is worse than their English is. Their English is pretty good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The tips are individual for you, so you guys are going to put $180 each into an envelope, $360 if you do the full recommended amount. I'm going to take it from you, and I'm going to go to Hawaii. I'm going to take it from you. I'm going to go to my room. I'm going to put all these bills out. I'm going to divide it equally. $8 for Sharon, $8 for David, $4 for the bus driver, $4 for the bus driver. Put all of those amounts in envelopes for them, and at the last dinner, give it on all of our behalf to them. If you want to do it on your own, you're welcome to, but it's much easier if I do it. Plus, I can go to Talking Stick when we get back. Right? We can go to Vegas? So 8 times 10 is 80, and 4 times 120. Forget about what I said. The 180 was my VIG. See how that worked out? It's 120. You're right. 10 days times 8 is 80. 10 days times 4 is 40. 120. So yes, bring 6 $20 bills with you. That's the easiest way to do it. No, you're a couple on one bus. That's how they do the budget. Yeah. It's not times 2. It's not 80 for Sharon, 80 for David. We make up that difference. We bring a little extra money. We give it to them because we want to work with them because they're lovely. I mean, you're going to love these guys. They're really lovely. Sharon's got a British accent, so if you're lucky, she'll sing you a little Mary Poppins with the proper accent. And David's just a nice guy from New Jersey. So they're both fluent English speakers. Sharon just uses some weird language sometimes. Like she calls the elevator a lift. Yeah, it's a lift. And Israel, because it was under British mandate for so long uses a lot of the expressions that British use, and tea is a big deal in Israel. Afternoon tea. Okay, we're done. Bless you all. Please travel safely. Please know how grateful we are that you're trusting us with this endeavor, and please know that we are going to have what I like to call big Jewish fun, which can also be big PRBC fun too. Thank you all. Thank you online. Were there any questions? Okay.
You were going to help me